Hey guys, RC here. We are back, episode 23, starting our third season with Leeds United in our FM18 save. We're still in the Premiership. It went down to the final game as we battled Crystal Palace for the last spot to stay up and the last relegation slot. Couple of bits of news that I had noticed right here at the end. Man City hired a new coach, Allegri. Barcelona hired Lowe as their coach. I believe Lowe was at Man City before. And let's see, what else? I think that's about it. There's not going to be any matches here. This is a transfer special. So coming in the second season, our payroll has gone up dramatically, and our transfer budget was beefed up dramatically. So we have made a lot of moves based on our performance last season. I think a lot of that was just not having good enough players. They were good, they were great players for the championship level, not so much for the premiership. So I made a lot of moves again this year, but we spent, unlike last year where we went really cheap and just tried to add depth of good players that would be contributors. This year I actually went and we got quite a few young players that'll go into our youth system. No wonder kids or anything, but players that came up that looked like they'd be good in the future. Quite a few starters, so probably half of our starting 11 is going to be rotated this year. And then trying to upgrade our reserves as well for our rotations. We've also traded off some of our stalwart players that have been around from the beginning. So let's get into it and take a look. Now, I don't have the fancy smancy, blackout and everything else, but anyway, let's get into it. So we'll start over here. You can look at this if you want, but Osim Boy went to Petersborough for $750,000. Connor Shaughnessy to Bolton for $425K. Jamie Shackleton we let go on a free. He had an expiring contract. Liam Cooper, our team captain for the last two seasons, we sent him to Derby, who was relegated, up to $5.25 million. Samu Saiz, I like him, but again, I thought he would be really good at the Premier, and then he just didn't play a lot for me last year. He just never cracked the starting 11. He goes back to Malaga, again, $5.5 million potential. J. Roy Grott, we've sent him out on loan to Blackburn in the Championship. Tendai Darikwa, we send to Wigan on a loan. They're going to pay us $42,000 a month. We're going to carry his salary. And I traded our keeper, Felix Wiedwald, to BMG. He goes back to Germany, $3.3 million. A little less than he's worth. I think he was worth $4.5. But we send that out for $13.25 million. So that gets about 75% of that got added to our transfer budget. So let's come in and look at who we've brought in. Well, I won't look at all the players because you can see there's quite a few. A lot of these are younger guys. So we'll just kind of go through the bigger ones. This guy, I think, is going to be one of my starting strikers. Liz Mousset from France. He's going to be a striker. Good pace and acceleration. We haven't had speed like that on the club ever. Finishing, dribbling, first touch, long shots. Now, he does not have the heading, so in our 4-3-3, I kind of see him as being one of the two outside strikers. But passing, technique, work rate, determination. He comes to us from Rene. I'm probably butchering that, and I've got a French last name, but I don't speak French, so Rene, I think, where he was on loan last year, but he comes to us from Bournemouth. He had 11 appearances. They had bought him in for 8.75 from Hav AC, and we pick him up for 1.2, so a really good discount to pick him up. I hope he's okay. Sammy Zamotics, I picked him up from Colchester for a little bit of money. I thought he had some good upside. He was always going to be more a guy that I thought we might sell down the road for a little more money. James Wilson, Man United, 675,000. He's another striker up top. Again, pace, acceleration, work rate, determination. I like, definite upgrades here. 15 finishing, 13 first touch. So I see him contributing a little bit up front as well. And didn't cost us a ton of money. I think he was end of contract. Here was our big signing of the season. Ben Gibson from Middlesbrough, $17 million. And center back. I thought our defensive line needed a big upgrade. Pace, acceleration's not great, but I think in the center you don't have to be super fast. And he does have the stamina, jumping reach. Marking is great. Tackling is great. Heading is better than Janssen, and Janssen has dominated our stats the last 2 years in headers won. So I think he fits great in the center with Janssen covering. If Janssen plays, because I also went back to Renee and signed Joris Nagnon for 8.75. He can move up to the defensive mid and allow Vieira to get back up into the mid. But again, pretty good marking, tackling, heading, pace, fitness, acceleration, really good mentals. So, I thought those two guys really beefed up the middle of our defensive line, and that is what made Cooper expendable. I actually gave some thought to moving Janssen as well, but decided not to. I didn't want to completely gut the entire team, but he may be a casualty in the next window or next season. Anyway, Connor Randall, yeah, he's actually not bad. He's a right back. I think he'll come in and compete. Again, he's got crossing, dribbling, pace, acceleration up there, work rate, determination, really fabulous mentals. And when I say fabulous, I'm talking for what I'm used to seeing on my squad. Marking, tackling are real good, work rate, determination. So I think he will be a big upgrade, potentially at right back. Then I went to FC20 for 7, and he didn't cost us anything. He was on an end of contract from Liverpool. I went to FC20, $7.5 million. Hidi to Avest. I don't know. If you know how to really pronounce his name, Hidi Avest. I'm guessing. I have no clue. But he is Dutch. I like Dutch players. I've got a fascination with them. I think that goes back to watching, and I don't even remember their names, but there were the two guys for the Dutch national team. You know who I'm talking about. One of the guys had a bald head. Yeah, those guys. Anyway, they were in the last couple of World Cups. Except, just like the U.S., they're going to be sitting home this year. It seems like so. But anyway, he looked really good. Pretty good physicals. Love the mentals. Strong. Strong technicals. Not really an attacking, but I think he's going to be a backup for the other guy that I just showed you. Randall. Brought in from Arsenal on an end of contract, 875. I think he was end of contract, but he's a striker. Plus, he can play the 3 attacking positions, dribbling, finishing, first touch. He's got great physicals, 17 acceleration, 16 pace. Again, we haven't had speed like that with anybody before this season. Work rate, determination's a little lower than I was hoping, but he's got some numbers in there that I really like. So Chuba Akpom comes in. I brought in a backup keeper, or I was actually thinking of him as a keeper of the future from AS Monaco, 575,000. Really liked him. Thought he could be my backup keeper this year, and he's only 21. He already has 7 under 21 caps for France. So, kind of projected him being a project player and coming in a couple of seasons. Maybe sooner depending on Wiedwald, but that has changed as you'll see in a little while. These guys were pretty cheap. Jacob Maddox, and you can look at his numbers. He's nothing special. 20-year-old for depth. Okay, the next player to look at is a guy that I really wanted was Frankie de Jong from Ajax for 4.7. Before we look at him, let me kind of tell you how I find players, because if you've watched any of my, if you're new to the channel, you might be going, why are you signing these guys? Because this guy's better. And I've always said, I don't know a whole lot about Football Manager. Kind of new to it, still getting my feet wet and still learning the game. Secondly, I am not a football aficionado. I don't know all the players. Um, I can name maybe a half dozen players in the world outside of the current Leeds club, and even those players I'm still getting used to. So I strictly rely on my scouting. I go into my scouting, like right here, I'll look at the players that they spit up here. I'll add them to my short list. I'll scout them. And as I find guys like this guy, oh, well, he'd be third on my depth chart, and you're saying he'd be good for us? Okay, well, I might make an offer for him if I think his estimated cost and salary are something affordable for what I want to pay. So, that's exactly how I sign these players. So, just a heads up on that. So, anyway, getting back to it, Frankie de Jong, he popped up on my list from Ajax. Really liked him. 22-year-old Dutch. Van Robben or Van Persie and Robben were two Dutch players that I kind of got to know in the World Cup over the last 8 years or so. Robin van Persie and Aaron Robin or something like that. Anyway, one of them has a bald head. That's all I remember. But anyway, I really like them, so I've always kind of been a fan of the Dutch team as a team to root for on the periphery, and so I've always had a fascination with the Dutch players in the game, and I liked the fact he could play a lot of positions. So he could play all three spots in our 4-3-3, in our 4-4-1-1, or 4-1-2-3-1 or whatever. He can play several positions. So I thought he'd be a good fit. He had some good ratings, so I went out and got him. So really happy to get him. Izzy Brown, he was on loan with us last year. You know what? I don't have to show you all these. We can go up a little bit at a time and have some suspense. Izzy Brown from Chelsea, we made a $3.3 million offer to him. Of course, he was on loan with us last year. And, I liked him. I think he's going to get better. So went ahead and brought him on full time. Here is my second signing from Ajax. 9.75 million, Andre Onana. And man, that is one sexy goalkeeper. I liked him. I thought he was good. He was an upgrade over Wiedwald. So I went ahead and signed him, and he is our new starting keeper, and that is also why I moved Wiedwald for 3.3, was because of that signing there. 2.5 million to STVV for Alexis Dessart. He is a 23-year-old Belgian midfielder. Natural fitness. This kid might be able to play till he's about 35 or 36. Acceleration and pace are decent. He's already got pretty solid technicals and mentals, and should only get better. Although he doesn't really have any room to improve, I thought he would be really good depth for us. And then a lot of these guys were guys brought in by my, in fact, all of these guys were brought in on freeze. Most of them were brought in by my youth coach, who I have set up to allow to bring in young talent. I think the only one that I went after was George Honeyman. He was one, again, that can play a lot of positions, and I thought he had some abilities that would give him some ability to fit in and eat up some minutes on occasion. He won't be a daily player, but he will get the occasional time. Sorry about that. Excuse me. But so $58 million we have spent in transfers. So if we go in and take a look at our tactics just for depth, I am going to just pop the entire team here as of right now. So we've got Roof up top, Morgan, Brown, Clow in the attacking, Rawls, Kane. I don't know if these guys have actually joined the club yet. Oh yeah, they have. There's Onana, Gibson. A lot of the stat club looks the same. Here's Jones. Vieira's now over to the bench. Lasaga, Hadara. King is a new player. And Brereton is a guy that we had out on loan last year, and he looks like he's going to be really good. So he is actually wanted. Who's he wanted by? Peterborough. So anyway, he's got some room to grow. I don't know if that's the best 11, but that's what the game is at least picking. Let us look at the 4-3-3 because we do play that a lot. Roof, Klo, and Chibiki. So Lasaga's actually gotten bumped from that. Chibiki has moved up into that. Rawls, Vieira, O'Kane in the mid. Suttner, Gibson, Jansen, Coyle, and Onana. So a couple of new guys. Again, I think I'm going to have a little bit different starting 11. Turavist, Calvin Phillips, Musette. I'm surprised Musette's not up there because I really think that he is going to be 14 finishing, 14 first touch. I mean, I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, Clow's close to that. So anyway, I think we have really upgraded our overall talent. I mean, if you look at the guys that the game is now putting on our bench, I mean, Lasaga, Hadara, Brown, Morgan, those were all starters for us last year, and then a couple of new players. So I think we've upgraded our team immensely. We're still not going to really be any competition for the Manchester clubs, Arsenal. But if we go look at the Premier Division and the season preview, we're actually picked to finish last. Well, that's disappointing. I was hoping it would be better. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see. You can see the division spent 436 million. Yap Stam is at Burnley. Allegri at Man City. Gary Monk went to Stoke. I was actually rumored to be in line for the Stoke and the Burnley jobs. Told him I wasn't interested because it's a Leeds save. I mean, come on. And I'm at Leeds. So let's see. Manchester United, 113 million for 5 players. Chelsea netted 117 million for sending players out. So they were big sellers. They're projected to finish 5th. Let's see. Anything else to look at in here? Structure, stadiums. I think that's it. Our schedule has come out. We open with Man City, and then we have the Derby, Roses Derby against United right before Christmas, and then coming back somewhere. Excuse me. Oh, we end the season with them on the 17th with a road game for the second leg of the Derby going to Old Trafford. So let's see. Let's see. Man United, Leicester, Tottenham, Arsenal. Whoo, there's some big teams at the end of the season. I mean, there's no real easy ones for us this year, so we're going to have to probably have relegation secured come the end of March, or we may not get out this year. Well, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the friendlies, get up to the start of the season, and we'll come back for Man City and Stoke. And at that point, we should know who we drew in the Carabao Cup. And we will get into the season. So another exciting season of Leeds and Premier Football. Hope you guys are along for the ride. Let me know what you think of some of the moves that we made. Good, bad, indifferent. Again, I mean, don't tell me that I should have picked up Harry Kane or, there's a few names that I recognize, as oh, these are the best players in the game and you've got to get them. So, I kind of take the tack that, I'm ignorant and I need my scouts to help me out. So I make do with what the scouts can tell me. And I think I've done okay. Like I said, I like a lot of these players. If we sort by fee, I mean, those two guys are definitely going to start. Let's see, Nagnon. I'm surprised he is not. Where is he at in the depth chart? Okay, he's third behind Gibson and Jansen, which is fine. I figured he would be, and Ter Avest is there as well. So he'll fill there. If there's any injuries, Nagnon will get the most playing time. Ter Avest will step into the relief role. Cargill's going to be the one that really loses a lot of playing time this year. Ter Avest is actually going to start on the right, should start on the right side. And I've got to go back in and just double check my registration to make sure I've got all the players that I need. See, I mean, up here it says Lasaga, Musette, Roof. They should be up top. Clow, Wilson, and Akpom coming behind. So Chibiki, it says, should be like 7th, and they've got him starting. So I need to look at who is here. It's my assistant coach, so I need to make sure it's the same person pulling both people and that I've got the best person giving me advice. Anyway, guys, I was very excited. I got home from work today, sat down and just did several hours working on the transfer, plowing through the 2 months to get up to the friendlies, and very, very optimistic. I'm happy with the players that I got. I'm optimistic that we will do better this year. We'll see. We'll see. So, again, let me know what you think in the comments. Give a thumbs up to the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we will see you guys for opening day against Man City in the next episode. See you then. Take care. Bye now.